Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are going to focus on men this time around, specifically single men looking to find somebody special. Dating can be very discouraging for men. You could have your life together, great career, family's great, outside of that perfect person, and then you get into the dating world and whoa, what has happened here? Some help with that, somebody to walk that journey and take you where you need to go and give you direction. Let's talk about some relationship coaching along the way. He does just that. Wade Redcross joins us here on the program. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, because men or women, it's a challenge. I'm not being jaded here in saying that I think a little bit more of a challenge for men, because women are very careful about who they communicate with. They're skeptical. Maybe it's because of some guys. I don't know. But dating in general for men, what's your overview of that?
It's tough. It's a rough road. I mean, it's totally a rough road. It's so much is set against men. Men have so many challenges against them. First of all, right out of the gate, for men, you have to build value. You've got to climb the mountain. You've got to prove who you are. You have to show up with career, expertise, have value. If you don't do that, then women, even men, push you aside. It's like, who are you? You don't bring value. There's no need to enter the conversation. So you have to do that. It's like, what have you done with your life? Who are you?
It's very challenging because you see somebody on a dating app and maybe they look attractive. So you try and connect. Maybe you do connect. How do you provide that value in a couple of quick initial texts? It's almost like, I don't want to blow this one. You got to say the right thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the next step. It's like, how do you even approach? And that's really a huge challenge for so many men. How do you approach? What do you say? There are all these guys who seem to have all the right lines, the quote unquote bad boys who know what to say, how to say it, and who seem to get all the women. And to tell you the truth, that is the case. Typically, it's understood that there's about 15% of the men who get just about all the women. Most women have had relationships with men, like 100% of the women. But that's not the case with the guys. Almost all the women have children. If they're able to have children, they all have, which means they've all had sex relationships. They've all had relationships. Not the case for men. For men, it's a challenge. It's a total challenge. Excuse me. Something in my throat. So, how does one do it? It's quite a challenge, and it's a challenge for so many reasons. First of all, we've got a couple generations of broken homes, divorces, so lack of role models, lack of men having a map. Now you have this huge onslaught of pornography where men are able to get this huge instant gratification in these simulated worlds, which aren't real whatsoever. It's all acting. It's not real. So if you invest and dive into that, and you try to simulate that, bring some of that into the real world, no, that's not going to work at all. Then there's a lack of education on the topic. So, I mean, like, why wasn't there a class on how to woo women, how to connect in high school? Like, help me out here.
True. There was, it And I think the odds are against you because I believe that women are somewhat jaded. They're, skeptical. Who is this person?
Well, absolutely. And women need to be, because they've got a lot to protect. I mean, for them, if they make one wrong move, they're in a bad situation for a long time. A woman who gets a broken heart, I mean, gosh, it could take her 3, 5, 7 years to recover in many cases. It's just not that
Hmm.
simple for them. For us, we can pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and just, go at it again. It's not that simple for women. So yes. And then also we have the challenge of feminism. Oh my gosh. I mean, we live in this world today where the movies, it's in the papers, the magazines, they're championing that masculinity in men is just, it's bad. It's
Hmm.
worthless. And so for men, there's so much against us. There's a lot of challenge. So yes, when it comes to how to connect with women, oh my gosh, most men, our heads could be swirling like, oh, like, where do I even begin to approach? It's 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 like, how do I even do it? On a dating apps seem to be set up against men. Um, for when I coach women, some women, they set up their dating app, they get the profile all together, all the photos, everything set just right. And inside of a week, they can have 10, 11,000 responses. For so many men, it just drips in, one a day, two a day, three a day.
Why do you think that is?
Well, you know how it is. I mean, women by design, by nature, have this value from birth, that they just have this value that as soon as they hit puberty, they've got value. And all men have an interest in what women bring to the table.
So I have a friend that
Yes.
says what you say, but he says, and I won't go into detail, but essentially he says women were born with value.
Yes.
Men have to earn that value, because men look at women and it's like, yeah, I want her, and she's got what he wants. On the flip side, he's had to earn that. He didn't just,
Yes.
it's a different dynamic. Is it a bad thing? And we're going to talk about how you support with the complete dating package in just a moment. But I'm curious, is it a bad thing or a good thing to have certain criteria when you're on a dating app? What do I mean by that? For example, let's say you do engage with somebody, make your match, and you start a conversation. And let's say you like to, I wouldn't say belabor the text, but you like a little sharp conversation, have some fun. You get 5 words back occasionally. Game changer. In your mind, I'm not wasting my time. Or if she's got certain pictures up, let's say you're not an outdoorsman or not a sports fanatic, and she's got pictures of her at a baseball game, and there she is in front of a classic car, and you're like, that's not me. Those kind of things. Is it okay to have those predetermined, or should you just open your mind up to everything?
Well, I think men need to have boundaries for sure. Absolutely. I mean, if she's if she's into a world that isn't something that you are interested in, absolutely, you gotta say no. I mean, nowadays, one of the biggest things is that women and social media, they want to show themselves, advertise themselves, dance on camera, dance with little to nothing on. And now you want to enter into a relationship, but she's been okay dancing with nothing on for the past 10 years. And how do you enter into a relationship and say, okay, you can't do that anymore? I mean,
Yeah, yeah. You're
it's
not going to change them. So don't
right,
don't plan on
exactly.
doing that.
Yeah.
Wow. So Yeah, just general tips when it comes to dating apps that you can share. Even before we get there, I want to share that my friends and I all say the same thing. It's very different now than it was even like 2 years ago. Things have changed. The type of people, I don't know what's going on out there. Something's different.
It's always changing. I mean,
Mm.
it's changing so fast, like you said, just 2 years ago. I think dating apps have just totally changed the dating game so significantly. Um, because I mean, gosh, I got married a long time ago. And we used to connect just at, in what we call out in the wild, right? Right.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that that's the game changer now. Just connect with people in person,
Hmm.
right out in the wild.
I
Um,
agree. I agree because it eliminates all the crazy steps. Like first you're communicating on the app, then you want to take it to the next step. Can we talk? Want to talk by phone? And then she is little hesitant, and then you're waiting. Then another couple of days go by, and it's just like texting back and forth, and
and puts
yeah,
her in control because she gets to say yes to all the steps. No, no, I want to wait. I want to wait until after we text a little more. I want to wait until after. No, but if you are if you reach out right there in person, you
yeah.
get to begin to dictate the steps. And as a man, I think that's important to
Point.
begin to determine the steps.
Point. Are there any in your mind rules? And there's always latitude there, but rules of thumb. Let's say if you connect with somebody, how many days should go by of text conversation, whether it's great, whether it's meh, whatever, before you're like, okay, no more. We're over this now. Either we're going to the phone step, or I'm bouncing out. How long would you give it?
In my opinion, I set up the date from the first time you meet.
Easier said than done, though. I'm
Even,
on your page, yeah, but let's go.
I
You know,
mean, I mean, for example, if you're meeting and the objective is let's have a date, that's the objective.
mhm.
So we're exchanging numbers because that's the objective. Therefore, how's next Tuesday?
Yeah, I like the way you think. It's why are we on here? Why are we on this app? Let's just move it forward. A couple of days to get a vibe or a feel, I think is okay. But it just gets to a point where if it's not going anywhere and it's that, textual relationship back and forth, and she hasn't given her phone number, maybe you've even asked for it. But I also think that there should be a termination. Say, hey, listen, I'd love to meet. I'd love to talk by phone. If you're interested, just let me know. And that's it. Instead of just ghosting. Worst thing ever.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So
But
tell me about the complete dating package. How does that work? How do you help people?
well, with the complete dating package, we offer this two-pronged approach because we understand that people need an opportunity to connect. And we know that online dating has become a pain point for an awful lot of people, right? Just it's it's a pain point for a lot of reasons, right? It's the ghosting, it's people showing up in their photo and they look entirely different than their photos. It's the catfishing, it's all of that. So we want to create an opportunity for people to meet and connect where a lot of those challenges are taken off the table. And so we've created some opportunities for that to happen with um, our lockout is what we call it. We call it a lockout because at our events we lock out everyone who isn't single. So at the event, you can expect that 100% of the people involved are in fact single. So that's our first step. The second the second prong to our two-prong approach is that everyone receives coaching. And that's really cool because with the coaching, you're able to get up to speed on, in fact, something that you may have missed, like without even realizing it, because we all have blind spots.
Sure.
You know, right? And what's a blind spot? Something that you are absolutely not aware of. But it's not just that you are not aware of it. You're not aware that you're not aware of it. You just, it's like you're driving along the road and you begin to ease into another lane, and oh no, there's a car there. You quickly move back. You're not aware that the other car was there, so you're not aware. And so that's what coaches can help you to do, and then also to help you to get up to speed quickly on whatever the nuances are of the day. And so that's what the coaches help you to do. And that process is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, number one, because we have group coaching. It's great when you're connecting in a group and you're learning from other people, what they've experienced, what they've gone through, some of the challenges that they've experienced, and you're learning from some of the challenges that they've lived through. It's great hearing from others and realizing that, oh my goodness, we're all kind of in this together and everybody's kind of going through a lot of the same issues, a lot of the same challenges. A lot of times we think that, oh, I'm the only one who's got this problem.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, totally. I talk with friends and just what you're saying, it's interesting to get different perspective. Could have been right down to your dating profile. You don't realize that maybe there's something in there that were one of those pictures that it isn't. You think that's me though. That's me. How does it look to somebody else? You don't know. You're not that somebody else.
That's right. And so it's great to get. It's great to come into our group coaching classes for those reasons. And then we also have one-on-one coaching, and that's great to be able to connect with someone else who can listen, who can hear you, that you can confide in, and who can help you to perhaps work through some of the issues that you have kept private, that you haven't shared with anyone, and help you to work through something that can perhaps get you to a new level. Right?
Love it. Yeah. And I'm just getting flicks of visions of my friends. Men aren't going to tell the other man certain things because he's also looking for the same thing that his friend is looking for.
It's the competitive nature, right? Yeah.
100%. The only thing I would say to, my friend, I said the other day, Bobby, like, why do you have it set to like 50 miles? He goes, well, you never know. I mean, it could be in another state, neighboring state. And I'm like, why? What kind of relationship is that? But everybody's different. I don't judge here. How does somebody engage you and what you offer with the complete dating package? And how do the packages work?
Okay. All right. So first thing we have is we offer a 5-day free coaching. And that's really cool. So you get to come into our site at CompleteDatingPackage.com, and you can sign up for our 5-day free coaching. A lot of fun there.
Wow.
So go ahead and do that. 5 days of free coaching. On the 4th day, men and women get to come together on our co-ed connection day. That's also a lot of fun because you get to come in and we have these discussions where you get to ask one another, like, okay, women, why do you always do this? Like, there's no space where you can ask them, why do you behave this way? Why do you act the way you do? But then we kind of create a space where we can have these conversations with one another. After that, then we have our lockout. Now, I've got to tell you about our virtual lockout. Our virtual lockout we do on Zoom. So you can do from the comfort of your home. And this is really set up to benefit men in a really fabulous way. Why? Because we make it super easy to connect with women. We make it easy for you to make that initial connection. So you don't need any fancy lines. You don't need to walk up to a woman. You don't need to have any, come up with any robust courage. We make it real easy to just get you connected with the woman. Okay, so how do we do it? On Zoom, we take a huge group and break everyone up into smaller groups of, let's say, 7 to 10 people. And in that group, if there's a woman that you have an interest in, you just text to the host, I'd like to go into a private room with this woman.
Wow.
If she says the same thing, instantly you guys end up into a private breakout room. And then you guys end up having a conversation. If it works, great. Talk until the event's done. If not, you just bounce out into the main room and you start again. Lots of fun.
I was just going to say, this sounds like fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
Wow. That being said, how do you connect geographically with certain groups, singles? How does that part work?
Okay, so we are working in local cities. So right now we're working in Pittsburgh, we're working in Philadelphia, and we're working in those surrounding areas. And so we're working in local cities. And so we're targeting cities because we understand that people want to connect with people in their local geographic area.
Wow. It's funny, the word lockout sounds like a negative, but it's completely the opposite, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. This is very refreshing. This is dating apps go away. Just it's like it's not like it was a few years ago. Things have changed. And then you have so much AI and filtering going on that you don't even know if who you're talking to is really, or texting with initially, who you think they are. But doing this with the complete dating package, it's legit. You see them, they're in a room, you're all together. It's almost like walking into, like you in the wild, like you just said, where you could have been going before there was technology, social media, all of that. Go to a restaurant, a bar, it's singles night or whatever. You meet a bunch of people. Very, very refreshing idea.
Yeah. That's the whole idea of it. And then because everyone's working with coaches,
Sure.
and others within the group, there's other relationships. So it's as if we that there's a social environment there. So and that helps as well. So
Yeah.
yes.
And you're bringing your best you to the meeting, if you will, because you've already been coached. It's not just you walking in and whatever happens, happens. No, we all have intention now. We all have direction now based on the coaching. How do we start this?
Well, you get online and you go to completedatingpackage.com and you just put in your name and your email and you're off and running. And you would that gets you registered for our 5-day free coaching. And then from there, you can sign up for the virtual lockout, and there's a cost for it. And that's really inexpensive. It's only $25 for an evening. A lot of fun for it.
Sure.
And then for those of you who want more coaching, because some of you you want much more coaching. You're interested in being the best version of yourself that you can be, and also finding the best possible partner that you can possibly find. Then we've got more coaching for you, and you can, for a fee, have much more coaching. And so we have that for you as well.
Out of the gate, your investment is about the price of going to a bar where, there's a band. So now you got to pay for that and one drink. You've already paid
Sure.
more doing that.
parking, right?
Yes,
All of this.
all of that.
Yes.
Wow. What's the website? Is what I think it is?
Yes, it is. CompleteDatingPackage.com.
Yeah. Well, you want to be the total package in terms of showing up for somebody. And it's all there. Wow. Great idea. Old things come back again as a new thing. This is nothing new because it's like-minded people all getting together in the wild. And I love the way you describe that. With a little bit of technology mixed into it. So fantastic.
Yes,
Wade, thank you so much for today. Learned a lot. Great idea. And looking forward if there's a chance we get together again.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.